Just 2 days after the unexpected death of Elvis Presley, mourners lined the streets for his extravagant funeral. The king was just 42 years old when he was found dead at his home on August 16, 1997, face down on the floor of his bathroom after appearing to have fallen off the toilet. In his later years, Elvis had become famous for taking everything to excess and weighed 25 stone. With it later emerged, he had been prescribed almost 9,000 pills, vials, and injections in the 7 months before his death. News of the sudden passing of the legend who changed the face of rock and roll forever sent shockwaves around the world. His family members and closest friends immediately rushed from all over the country to Memphis and were given some time to pay their respects before tens of thousands descended inside his home. In an unprecedented move, Elvis's grieving dad Vernon decided his son's fans should be given the opportunity to say goodbye to their idol. Vernon had announced Elvis's death on the steps of Graceland just 30 minutes after his son was declared dead in the hospital. Less than 24 hours later, a single white hearse took Elvis back home in a copper casket, matching the one his mother Gladys had been buried in. Having been known for his incredible white jumpsuits, the color white would play an integral role on the day he was put to rest. Elvis was made to look his very best, dressed in a white suit given to him by his father, having his hair cut and sideburns dyed black. The service was originally supposed to be held at Memphis Funeral Home, but Vernon overruled the other family members and insisted that they have it at Elvis's home so as many fans as possible could attend. Initially, his family and friends came to pay their respects at his open coffin, which was placed in an archway between the music room and living room. His young daughter, Lisa Marie, did not look at her father inside, but instead asked funeral director Robert Kendall if she could give her daddy a thin metal bangle. There were fears the special gift may be taken by fans, so Lisa Marie's mom, Priscilla, reportedly instructed the funeral director to conceal the piece of jewelry beneath Elvis's shirt. It's believed that around 80,000 devastated fans lined Elvis Presley Boulevard and outside Graceland's gates, and it's estimated that a staggering 30,000 made their way inside to his casket. Vernon extended the viewing time so that more fans could come in to get a glimpse of their hero for one last time, with most in floods of tears and some even fainting. Former girlfriend Mindy Miller, who dated Elvis in the mid-70s, was one of those who viewed his open casket in private with the rest of the family at the start of the day. The pair had bonded over their love of spirituality and numerology while they were a couple, and this was integrated into the funeral. Sharing the meaning behind some of the decisions, she explained, "He had 17 white limos, and it's interesting because in numerology, 7 and 1 is 8, which was Elvis's number, and his favorite color was white. He was in white, all the lining was white, the hearse was white, everything was white as it should have been. That was his color, very ethereal, very elegant. I could not even tell you what number limo I was in." While the peaceful and respectful public viewing of the casket was going on inside Graceland, tragedy struck outside the gates. A car plowed into a group of hundreds of fans standing outside, killing 2 young women and critically injuring a third. Elvis's coffin was driven 3 miles in a white hearse to a Forest Hill cemetery so that he could be buried alongside his beloved mother. The private funeral for family and friends saw Elvis laid to rest next to his mother in the family mausoleum, with Vernon remaining alone inside to say a final goodbye to his son. However, 2 weeks after Elvis was laid to rest, there was a shocking attempt to steal his body. On August 29, 3 men were arrested at the cemetery and charged with attempting to steal the music icon's body from the mausoleum. But they were poorly equipped and had no way of breaking into the concrete tomb or transporting the heavy copper coffin. One of the 3 men was actually an undercover FBI agent who tipped off the police and claimed the others were going to ransom the body for millions of dollars. But the hidden criminal mastermind behind the plot was never found, and eventually charges against all 3 men were dropped. Wanting to provide better protection for Elvis, the singer and his mother's bodies were exhumed and taken back to Graceland on October 3. They remain there to this day in Graceland's meditation center, along with other members of the family including grandmother Minnie Mae and grandson Benjamin. While dad Vernon was also laid to rest in the same place where he died of a heart attack 2 years after his son's death, with some believing he died of a broken heart. During the annual Elvis Week, a vigil is held where his fans walk past the graves by candlelight in his memory. However, There are theories that none of the bodies are actually there, and they were in fact buried privately somewhere nearby in a place only known to their nearest and dearest.